Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Pacheco, Director of Agent Development here at Preferred Real Estate Brokers. And today I am joined by a very, very special person that I get to work with on a daily basis, Ahmad Sadiq, Esquire of Landtrust Title. Ahmad, thank you so much for being here with me today, man.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Now, listen, Landtrust Title is a name that we at Preferred Real Estate Brokers know very, very well, right? You've worked with a lot of our agents and still do, and really redefine the title experience for them, but maybe not as well known outside of PRB for now, at least.
Correct.
Right? But we're going to get there.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's talk about kind of what makes Landtrust different. First of all, it's not just attorney-backed title.
Right.
It's attorney-owned.
Correct.
Talk to me about the difference between that.
Sure. I mean, so when we're talking about an attorney-backed title company, what we're basically saying is that we have individuals at the front end of the transaction bringing the contracts in, working on the transaction, processing it, working with the lenders. And in case there are any issues, they have some attorneys that they can turn to and get some assistance and make sure that underwriting requirements in terms of the title is taken care of.
Okay.
An attorney-owned title company like we are, basically what we can do is at the front end of the transaction, we can analyze the transaction and kind of see if there's any skeletons in the closet. Even before, let's say, for example, a listing agent takes a transaction and their spidey sense kicks in and says, you know, maybe there's something going on with this particular property, and I want to kind of look behind the curtain and make sure there's nothing going on and nothing that's going to derail the transaction once we have the listing agreement signed and once we're under contract. What happens in that situation is they can bring the property information over to me, and then I can turn around and kind of look behind the curtain, look in the public records, do a little bit of an analysis in terms of what the property looks like, what's going on with the individual or individuals owning the property, and then give some analysis to the listing agent to say, hey, this property looks pretty free and clear, and you're kind of good to go to get this listing agreement signed and get this property under contract, or there's going to be some issues that are going to arise. So make sure that you're aware of that and that your seller is aware of that, so that when the property is under contract, we know what we're dealing with and the buyers understand what the situation is at that point.
Perfect. And that's a good way to explain it. In other words, it's kind of like going out on a nature walk, and as opposed to having a kit to repair a animal attack.
Right.
It's knowing not to go down that trail that has the attacking animals.
I think that's a perfect analogy.
Right. So that's awesome, man. And that, again, that's one thing that I know that our agents love so much.
Right.
And really, I mean, out there, a lot of times with title companies, they're offering things which, of course, we appreciate as agents. Agents appreciate the things like, Instagram 101 class.
Right.
Or here's this extra wine basket for your open house. Like, those are sweet and wonderful things, and
Right.
they're helpful for sure. But title needs to be more than that.
Absolutely.
Right? And I mean, of course, you can, get a wine basket or a Scotch basket or a White Claw basket or something, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect.
I mean, the thing is, obviously want to facilitate the transaction. We want to facilitate and make sure that the buyers and the sellers are happy and that the realtors look good when they're closing that transaction.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, being an attorney, really the idea is that by the time the transaction is closed, we want to make sure that the buyers and the sellers are walking away so that there's really no chance that there's going to be any issues that arise in the future. So there's really two things going on for a title company. One is the business aspect of it, is making the relationship with the realtors and making the buyers and the sellers happy at the actual closing. But really, what's going on behind the scenes is making sure that the sellers are conveying title,
Right.
and that they're not going to be sued by the buyers down the road, and then making sure that the buyers are purchasing a property that's not going to have any issues down the road either.
And that's tremendous too, because I mean, the working with customers, right? If there's an issue with title or lending, it's never really the lender or title's fault in the eyes of the customer.
Right.
They come straight to the agent,
Right.
and they make that agent's, evening, a little interrupted there,
Exactly.
or whatever it is, right? And so by working with someone such as yourself that can see things, as before they even happen,
Right.
which is huge, that's adding efficiency, wonderful, right?
Absolutely.
And we need more efficiencies these days, but it's also providing the agent the ability, like you said, Ahmad, to look better in front of their customers,
Exactly.
right? And that's such an important thing because you know me, I'm a numbers guy. I check the numbers every day. There's over 95 billion agents in Orlando alone, and so you have to be one that is trustworthy and working with the right people at any step of the deal there.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is, for the agents that work with us, one of the things that I tell them is, even if they're, let's say, for example, obviously for a title agent, we're getting business when the sellers are being referred to us by the realtors. But even with the realtors that I've worked with in the past, if they're representing a buyer on another transaction that I'm not working on as far as the title is concerned, and I tell them, just reach out to me. I want to provide information and educate these realtors, because at the end of the day, when the realtors are educated in what title really is and what the commitment is and what the policy is, and they can explain that information better to their clients, the transaction runs smoother for the lender, for the title agent, for the title company, for the insurers. If the agents are educated, the transaction looks better and the buyers and sellers feel more comfortable. So whenever I get the opportunity here at the Preferred office, if I can sit down for 20 to 30 minutes and talk to a few agents about what title is and why it's important to go over the commitments, we take that opportunity every single time, because we want to make sure that the agents that work with us leave that transaction more educated on that transaction and title and the real estate transaction than they were before that transaction started.
And I absolutely love the way that you put that, and I love that you believe in that and
Absolutely.
execute that on a daily basis. So, Ahmad, thank you so much for everything that you do, man. Seriously, you elevate every agent here at Preferred Real Estate Brokers that works with you. What are some ways that people out there watching right now that want another option, in title, or just have simple questions about things? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, I mean, you can visit our website, landtrusttitlecfl.com. You can reach out to me directly. My phone number is 407-675-4722. My email is Ahmad, AHMAD, @landtrusttitlecfl.com. Feel free to reach out to me. I look forward to working with everyone.
Phenomenal. Ahmad, thank you so much again for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for everything that you do. As always, everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.